As investigators, it's very, very easy for people like us, whether we're journalists, online sleuths, actual detectives, it's very, very easy to get sidetracked and get tunnel vision and go off on just wild tangents and conspiracy theories. And there's a good reason why investigators, when they're investigating things, do so in a certain way as to not branch out too far away from the known facts. I've been recently asked on my channel by numerous people, including the page, the Captain Howdy, who I really, really respect his style and format and the way he does videos. It's kind of inspiring. Anyway, I've been asked to discuss what I think, given that I've been studying this case for a long time, what I think happened after Abby and Libby were told to go down the hill, or guys down the hill. What happened after that point. And what you need to do if you're going to speculate, as I'm about to, when it comes to something like that, is look at the things that are facts and discern fact from fiction. Case in point, a interview with former Carroll County Sheriff Tobe Lesenby in the Carroll County Comment in 2021. And it's a question and answer. And just simple as can be right here. Question: do you know if the girls were found where they were killed or if they were moved post-mortem? Answer: answered previously, found where they were killed. So not moved and abducted and killed somewhere else and dumped, or whisked off in a van under the private drive to who knows where, and then taken back there later. No. Answered previously, very specifically, found where they were killed. Question: do you know how the murderer was able to gain control of both girls at once? Answer: it is believed by manipulation and intimidation factors. Manipulate. Control or influence cleverly, unfairly, or unscrupulously. Psychology. Manipulation in psychology is a behavior designed to exploit, control, or otherwise influence others to one's advantage. So, the other thing we have is the probable cause affidavit itself. On page 6 of the Richard Allen probable cause affidavit for his arrest, it states clear as day, Carroll County Sheriff's Department detective, and it's redacted, has been part of the investigation since it started. He has had an opportunity to review and examine evidence gathered in this investigation. Detective redacted, along with other investigators, all believe the evidence gathered shows that Richard Allen is the male subject seen on the video from victim 2, which would be Liberty German, her phone, who forced the victims down the hill. Further, that the victims were forced down the hill by Richard Allen and led to the location where they were murdered. By Richard Allen and led to the location where they were murdered. Not driven off, not flown away in a spaceship, not put in a car with 20 people and driven to a shack. Led to the location where they were killed. Now, these are numerous law enforcement investigators with tons and tons of experience saying these things. So we kind of have to trust what we're being told there. Now, I've read rumors online, and this is the problem with rumors. I don't have a case file sitting in front of me, so like the rest of you, all I can do is speculate based on my studying for 3 years of this case, my knowledge, my experience, and you even learn something, or at least if you're doing proper investigation, you should be learning new things, no matter how much you think you know about the case. And one of the things that I learned today, I've often assumed, and I'm not sure why, maybe it's because I saw things that I thought were credible in my mind. I've seen people who said that Libby's shoe, or one of her shoes, was found down by the private drive, down at the bottom of the hill, which may have indicated a struggle. She ran away, etc., etc. And I've thought about this over and over, and I went back and I read old posts on Reddit from people discussing the case 3 years ago, and there's numerous people here who are saying that that's not where the shoe was. they're saying the shoe was actually across the other side of the creek, mired in mud, directly across from the murder scene. And believe it or not, even though I've been studying this case ad nauseum for years, I had never seen that. And frankly, there's other people saying the same thing. I thought the shoe was found on the opposite side from where they were eventually found, etc., etc. And then there's other people who say, no, it was found on the opposite side of the creek, on the cemetery side. And frankly, that would make more sense to me. They're climbing up there. We know that Richard Allen is allegedly all muddy when somebody allegedly sees him. You can see from the crime scene photographs that were let out what we could see of it from that day, and from the investigator standing on the creek bed, it looks like there are deep imprinted shoe prints in the mud. Now, maybe Libby's shoe came off in the mud when she was being directed up that steep embankment, which I think is probably likely. We also have rumors that Libby's belt was found down below the bridge somewhere. Again, we can't confirm that because these are rumors that are unconfirmed. In any case, I believe that the girls were led down the hill by Allen, and people say, well, how did he get control of both of them at once? That's impossible. No, it's not. When you have a weapon, you'd be shocked at how many people are going to comply, and we know he had a weapon. What's to say he didn't handcuff the two of them together? If they're handcuffed together, or they're gagged at the scene and can't scream, they're going to be real easy to control, because if they have to run together. And maybe that was why he told them to cross the creek, because he knew that they would be easier to control if they were going through water or shallow water when they were handcuffed together. He orders them up the other side of the creek, and maybe Libby's shoe comes off. Maybe that's why he was so enraged by the time he got over there. Maybe they both tried to run. Maybe he tried to sexually assault him at the bottom of the bridge. That angered him even more. And who knows? I'll take it a step further. We know that there were photos developed by Becky Patty's family after the girls had passed away that were allegedly processed at CVS Pharmacy by Richard Allen. The girls may have known at least his face or where he was from or who he was. In a town that small, it's entirely possible that even if he was wearing a disguise, at some point during an attempted sexual assault at the bottom of the hill, the girls recognize who he was. He freaks out and says, oh crap, now instead of just sexually assaulting them, they know who I am. They're going to be able to identify me. So at that point, the shortest distance between 2 points is what? We all know. It's a straight line, correct? So if you commit a crime like that, what are you going to do? You're going to go see the area where the girls were found. And he probably walked along the tree line a little bit so he wouldn't be seen. We know that somebody sees him after he exits on the north part of County Road 300 North. So he tries to go unseen as long as he can. After he leaves the crime scene, probably stages the crime scene. And then he's seen there on the north side of 300 North by an eyewitness. I really think it's that simple. I don't want to get into all the Klein stuff here today, but I think it's as simple as that. Failed sexual assault, maybe they even recognized him, marched across the hill up the muddy embankment, and he freaks